Her tears brought rain after 7 years of drought in her village. In the days when palm wine still bubbled from the trees and the air smelled of roasted plantain and river water, there was a village, Ogogbu. A village kissed by sunlight, blessed with fertile soil, and cradled by the arms of 3 proud hills. The elders said the gods loved Ogogbu, for every planting season bore double harvest, and every celebration echoed into the stars. But all of that changed. It began with a silence. The kind of silence that falls after a drum breaks mid-song. At first, it was just a delay in the rains. A late start to planting season. The elders gathered, muttered that the gods were testing their patience. The herbalists brewed sacred water from bitter roots. The people fasted for 3 days. And they waited. But the sky remained dry. 1 moon passed. Then 3. Then 7. And slowly, the rivers shrank into sand. The ponds turned to clay. The crops curled up like tired snakes and died. Mothers began to stretch 1 yam into 5 meals. The village drum sounded less often. The laughter of children, once the sweetest sound in Ogogbu, faded into shallow breathing and silent hunger. By the end of the 2nd year, the drum stopped entirely. The years of suffering. The drought wasn't just a lack of water, it was a thief. It stole joy from the market square. It stole strength from the young. It stole the dignity of the elders, who now sat with empty calabashes, asking for help they never used to need. People fought over water like strangers. Families who once shared meals now hid food. Girls who once braided each other's hair in the evening now walked past one another like ghosts. The spirit of Ogogbu had withered, not just from thirst, but from fear. By the 5th year, some villagers fled. They abandoned their huts and memories, believing the land was cursed. The king's council warned them it was forbidden to live without spiritual release, but they left anyway, into the forest, into the hills, into unknown towns where their ancestors had never walked. King Odigu remained. Proud. Tired. Determined. He was a king who once danced during moon festivals and gave out gold to widows. Now, he stood in front of his palace daily, eyes scanning the sky like a man waiting for forgiveness. He summoned every oracle from neighboring lands. He offered his own prized zebra skin to the gods. Even his only daughter, Adoma, shaved her head and carried sacred stones barefoot to the shrine. Still no rain. In the 6th year, when most had given up, a mad prophet wandered into the village. His hair was wild, his staff covered in feathers and broken cowries. They called him the mouth of the mountain. He walked straight to the king's square and shouted, "Rain shall not return until a forgotten soul weeps with true sorrow." And then he laughed, then disappeared into the dust. People dismissed him. A madman, they said. But not everyone forgot his words. Among the starving children of Ogogbu was a boy named Ikin. Small. Always barefoot. Always smiling. He had no father, lost to a hunting accident in the early drought. His mother sold firewood, but with no fire and no pots to boil, even that trade had gone cold. Yet Ikin was different. When others hoarded, he shared. When others cried, he comforted. He still found joy in small things, shaking mango trees just to hear their dry leaves rattle. Watching lizards do push-ups on the sun-baked walls. Helping elders walk from shrine to home. And most of all, sitting at the square watching. Waiting. He believed. Somehow, he believed. Far beyond the hills of Ogogbu, in a village called Elugui, another story was unfolding. A girl named Chimamanda had lost everything. Her father died in the early days of the famine. Her mother, shortly after, fell to fever. Her younger brother Olido was the last light in her world. But when the rivers dried up, Olido fell sick too. She tried herbs, prayers, carrying him on her back to neighboring towns. But no one helped. Eventually, he stopped breathing beneath a mango tree, while she sang him to sleep with a cracked voice and swollen feet. She buried him with her hands, alone. No family. No priest. No final rites. Chimamanda wondered after that. She walked from town to town. Each time she begged, they turned her away. People feared strangers. Feared sickness. Feared sharing what little they had. Her skin turned darker from the sun. Her voice dried from silence. Her heart shriveled from rejection. But still, she walked. In the 7th year of drought, on a day so hot birds fell from the sky mid-flight, Chimamanda walked into Ogogbu. Her legs trembled. Her lips cracked. Her body ached. She reached the village square and collapsed under a dying mango tree, whispering her brother's name. No one came. The women at the stalls pretended not to see her. The men at the shrine shifted uncomfortably. Another beggar, they thought. Another burden. But one person came forward. Ikin. He ran to her, holding a small handful of palm kernel. You look like my sister, he said. And you look tired. He helped her sit. She took the food. She stared at him. You remind me of someone, she whispered. Her voice broke. And her chest began to shake. Slowly, from behind her dust-crusted lashes, the tears came. One tear. Then another. Then a flood. Not loud wailing. But the slow, deep weeping of someone who had carried too much pain for too long. She wept for her brother. For her parents. For herself. And for the kindness she had not felt in years. Her tears dropped to the earth. And the sky listened. The mango tree rustled. A breeze passed. A cloud moved. Then thunder. Loud and rolling like a drum that had waited 7 years to play again. People looked up, confused. A drop. Then two. Then a flood. Rain fell. Heavily. Joyfully. Recklessly. The dust danced. Roofs rattled. Children screamed in laughter. Old women cried. Drummers grabbed their skins and played without rhythm. The entire village, for the first time in years, was alive. And at the center, a boy and a girl holding hands, soaked, smiling. Guards were sent. The king summoned them. Chimamanda and Ikin were brought before King Odigui, who stood speechless. He saw the cracked feet. The tired eyes. The quiet dignity in both of them. He looked at Chimamanda. You, he said softly, are the forgotten soul the mad prophet spoke of. He turned to Ikin. And you are the one who remembered what it means to care. He knelt before them, the king knelt. He removed the royal beads from his neck and placed them around Ikin. You are a son of Ogogbu now, and a prince in my court. Then he gave Chimamanda a robe of gold-threaded fabric and said, You are not a stranger. You are a blessing. And this is your home. From that day, every year in Ogogbu, they hold a festival not for rain, but for kindness. They say, if a stranger comes, feed them. If a child cries, comfort them. If you have a little, share. Because no one knows which hand will carry healing. Or whose tears might wake the clouds again. And so, the village that had once been forgotten by the sky became known across the lands as the place where compassion brought rain. For in the end, it wasn't the sacrifices, the oracles, or the royalty that saved them. It was a weeping girl. And a boy who chose to care.